Okay, Sages, today, right here, right now, we're gonna hurry and rush through this intro part, all right? So, welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you who are new and those of you who are returning, thank you so much for returning. If you're new and you don't know who I am Indigo Sage, okay? And this is Indigo Sage Tarot. You can find me across social media under the hashtag unapologetically sage, hashtag indigo sage tarot, hashtag indigo sage reviews. Indigo Sage Reviews is my second YouTube channel, okay? Go check it out. It's awesome, just like this one is awesome, except for over there it's just reviews, no tarot. Over here it's tarot and not reviews, but you know, you get a summary or whatever. All right, let's continue. Okay, you guys, so this one was so good. For whatever reason, it was kind of unexpectedly good. But, and when I say that, I'm just saying it was better than what I expected. Well, that would be unexpectedly good. Okay. Anyway, these women, their emotions came through very strongly. And this was my first time doing the energy after the reunion. Usually I do the energy before the reunion. But I wanted to do it after, because Monica trolled them throughout this whole season and we never really had trolling on this level. So buckle up, Buttercup. Okay, let's go. And also, you guys, there's bonuses. There's Andy. I put Andy's energy in there and Jen Shaw. And of course, if you've seen the length of this video, you know I got a bonus at the end, okay? And you will want to stick around for it, all right? And there's a clip in here that you guys must see, all right? So buckle up and come and take the ride, okay? Okay. So for their feelings after the reunion, the first person we are starting with is Whitney. Okay. And Whitney is represented by the Death card. The Death card is one of my favorite cards in the deck because it represents rebirth and transformation after the death of something that no longer serves you. It's an awesome card to show up after you've experienced a traumatic event. Okay, and we all can agree that these ladies have experienced a traumatic event. This card makes a lot of sense as a representation of Whitney's feelings after the reunion. Quite often, Whitney speaks of the spiritual journey she undertook in order to recover from traumatic childhood wounds that required healing. In this moment, I totally 1000% appreciate the fact that she has made that known, because as we progress in this session, this tarot reading, I am going to point out, and it's going to become very clear that she is the only one that has went on a journey of healing. I can 100% see how this is Whitney's point of view regarding the experience with Monica. I believe it's very common to be open to a new way of thinking that's receptive to change when you are on a healing journey coupled with therapy. Okay, that's just the truth, y'all. The Death card can release us from that which is no longer useful in our lives, but we choose to hang on to it anyway, merely because we fear change. In doing so, we deny ourselves new opportunities that await us. This is Whitney's message to the group, because the majority has voted Monica off the island. The Death card is in reverse because Whitney is not successful in helping these ladies understand that allowing Monica back will be good for them and the show. Okay, now right after this card came out and I was getting I was channeling spirit and the message and everything, right after that point right there, Spirit was telling me that someone who has a huge influence in this group is afraid of change and they ain't budging. Okay, and I even got the chills right now. Hey, you guys. So, real quick, I want you guys to check out this clip that I'm getting ready to play. But I want to say that I have been working on this editing for this video for about 2 weeks. The tarot was already read approximately 2 weeks ago. It was like right after the third episode of the reunion aired. So it was done. But, I'm busy. I'm busy, y'all. Now, like I said, the tarot was already pulled and read and done and everything. I just needed to edit the video. But I was surfing around the net, okay, the good old World Wide Web, and came across this clip. And I wanted to insert it right here, right now.
All of a sudden, Whitney comes and sits by me. And I'm like, it's like when you see your ex, and you're like, what's happening? She was so nice. She was like, look, whatever we have going on, I want you to know, like, she was so sweet. Heather sees this from across the room, gives her the big middle finger, and slit her across the throat. Because how dare she talk to me?
Okay, so next up is Angie, all right? And Angie is represented by the Five of Swords. The imagery is set in the breaking light of day as we witness what has been a battleground scene. A lone figure stands holding 5 swords in a victorious pose, appearing totally oblivious to the suffering and devastation of those around him. There are no flying banners here to signify him as a hero, nor his actions as any to celebrate. Now, let me tell y'all, as this card represents Angie, it made me crack up. Fives in tarot represents conflict, chaos, and battle. Okay, looking at the imagery, this person looks like they feel like they won. No one can tell this person anything because they feel like they won. Now, as we all know, swords represent word, intellect, and weighing our thought. So it's no surprise that the image for Angie is a person holding 4 swords under their arm, which represents the 4 women who met along the beach and created one of the most talked about scenes in Bravo history, while excluding Angie, and therefore indirectly making her feel irrelevant. Okay? Now, Angie showed up to the reunion to show everyone that she is relevant to the show, and the sword that is held high in the air is Angie's sword because she feels like she did the damn thing. Okay? Angie remained superficial, while 2 of the other ladies actually took Andy to task. So they may be considered the heroes, and we'll get to that in a bit. But Angie is far from being seen as the hero of this reunion by anybody, okay, except herself. I mean, look at the picture. Look at the picture. Okay. Angie has an obscured view of reality when she views herself as a hero, which is why this card is perfect for her, because the man in this card is not seen as a hero by anyone but himself. So, by the way, I noticed that Angie oftentimes would end scenes like she just really ate somebody up when she didn't. So this is very much on brand for her, and it tickled me to my core. Okay, it really did. I don't know how long I laughed when I saw this card for her because I knew exactly what time it was. Look at this person, okay? Not paying attention to nobody, what's going on in the background, and they just standing up there posing like they just really did something, like they just ate somebody up, like they just ate it. Oh my God, let's continue. Here we have another good card. This one is for Lisa. All right, and she's represented by the 3 of Cups. And again, this is the feelings and emotions and energies of these ladies, these women after the reunion. Okay, so like right after the reunion. Now, imagery is very important. I say it all the time. And so this deck did not disappoint. It's called the Gilded Tarot. The 2 cups pour water into a third that overflows. We can see that 2 energies combined have created a third. Water is the symbol of our emotions, and in this instance, our cup is overflowing. That's the imagery breakdown, okay? Here's how the Three of Cups represents Lisa's feelings after the reunion. The two cups pouring their emotions are Lisa and Heather when they let Andy have it for allowing a troll to become a cast member. They pointed out Andy's hypocrisy with his stand against bullying, okay, as we all have seen it before. News has spread that Monica will not be invited to the upcoming season, which is the third energy created from the emotional energy of the two cups. However, Lisa holds reservation for public celebration because she's waiting for the other shoe to drop, which is why the card is in reverse. Lisa's thinking, you never truly know if your value is high enough for Bravo to respect your feelings. Okay, so let me remind you guys, I am channeling their feelings and emotions right after the reunion closed. Like when they say, ah, and that's cut, that's a wrap or whatever, and the ladies usually go have a drink or dinner or something like that. This is the era that I'm in right now. So the ladies have not yet heard exactly that they are, letting Monica be on a pause or not bringing her back or whatever. They don't know for sure yet. So anyway, let's continue. Let's continue. All right, you guys. Next up, we have Mary. Okay, Mary, quite contrary. Mary is represented by the Queen of Cups. Overall, the Queen of Cups is the card of compassion, warmth, kindness, and healing. All right, don't y'all act like y'all surprised. And it appears that she is offering those aspects of her personality to Monica. This queen's home and clothing will have a touch of artistic flair, no matter what her budget, because her home is a place that reflects the sense of harmony that she needs. She sometimes appears switched off from the outside world as she is quite in tune with her inner world, which she easily slips into, and that immediately comes across as Mary being a very detached individual. This queen prefers one-to-one conversations with friends, and somehow she can make you feel listened to and cared for as she offers support and well thought out suggestions. This is what she has decided to offer Monica. Now, I know that even while I was doing the research and came across this card, and you guys also need to know that one card can mean several things, but it's all tying into the same, because this is the Queen of Cups. Cups is represented by water. Water is our world of emotion, period. That's the basis of it. That's what it means, period. But then it veers off into other concentrated areas of it. So with this being Mary's feelings, I can see it because, first of all, the artistic flair, we all know that her home has artistic flair. I mean, she got upset with Heather for talking about it, okay? Now, I saw that on TV just like the rest of you guys. I didn't know that she did that because it helps her keep harmony within her inner world. Because you want to know why, y'all? Because that house don't look harmonized to me. Okay, if that was a song, it would be off key. Okay, but hey, to each his own. And I know that Mary must have some kind of calming, soothing, supporting spirit about her, because I don't think Meredith would be her friend otherwise. Okay, despite the fact that she's a pastor in a church, I don't think Meredith would be her friend if Mary didn't have these aspects that of her personality that I just mentioned. And the bottom line is Mary offers them to who she wants to. And apparently she wants to offer them to Monica. Now, I should have did a clarifier because I'm kind of wondering, you guys, if she is feeling bad for Monica because in a way she can relate because she feels like she was bullied or ganged up on by the lady in season 2. I believe it was 2, maybe even 3. But no, season 2. Yeah. And so then maybe that's some kind of commonality that they have in together, and she feels bad for her, and so she's sticking up for her. That could be it. Okay, I didn't do a clarifier, but bottom line is Mary is choosing to be nice. And then this other stuff had me kicking a little bit where it says that she's detached and she can seem like she's detached and not paying attention. And, she easily slips into her own world. Well, first of all, 2 reunions ago, because the last reunion she didn't go, the reunion before that she was there. It was either the season 1 reunion or season 2. She fell asleep. She fell asleep, y'all. I think it was season 1's reunion. So yeah, she can very easily be detached and slip into her own world. Like, I mean, oh my God. Anyway, let's move on. Now here we are at Meredith. The Three of Swords. I mean, you can look at the imagery and you can already kind of see where it's going. And let's recall too that, at some point, Monica and Meredith were getting along. At least that's what it looked like. And then, with the difference of one episode, I started thinking, are you getting along genuinely? Or are you guys just getting along because you have a common person that you don't like or you're not getting along with? What kind of friendship was that? Anyway, Three of Swords. This card can represent separation, especially with the stormy clouds in the background, which means there have been disagreements that may have escalated to a point of separation. The center of the heart is covered by an image of the sun. In astrology, the sun is our outward appearance to the world and can point to our ego in some situations. This brings us to Monica's admission at the reunion that Meredith told her that she could take Angie's house because of her falling down Angie's stairs. Now, Meredith cleaned it up by saying there was liability on Angie's behalf, but she firmly denied saying she could take Angie's house. Bottom line is, Meredith is a former attorney and does not want to be known as an ambulance chaser. Okay? No, ma'am. So so swords are words, and the swords are Monica's accusatory words about Meredith. And the sun is Meredith's ego. Nonetheless, all hope is not lost, because if you look at the upper level clouds in this imagery, those clouds have begun to clear up, which means there's a possibility of mending friendship. And at first I was gonna say my first feeling was I wouldn't hold my breath, but as I just now got done explaining, Mary is cool with Monica and has a soft side for Monica, and Mary is cool with Meredith. So, and then Monica and Meredith at some point was kind of cool. So, she may come back around because, like I said, looking at the clouds, they are beginning to clear up. They're still there, so don't get it twisted, but they're not all dark and gray. Okay, here we are at yet another card that made me laugh. Heather is represented by the Lovers card. Okay. Don't mistake it with Two of Cups. This one is the Lovers. It's a major arcana card. That is how Heather is showing up. Okay. Whitney's card, Death card, was a major arcana as well. So, the Lovers. Immediately, we're drawn to the masculine divine, lifting the feminine divine up towards the heaven, which for the most part was Heather and Monica bonding and attempting a TV friendship, with Heather taking on the part as the lifter and Monica being the liftee. In this image, they are surrounded by water, which is symbolic of the world of our emotions. The card was in reverse because although this was how their story began, the ending was quite the opposite, yet literally in the same setting, surrounded by water and full of emotion. Okay. Instead of Heather uplifting Monica to the heavens, she has transitioned to exile Monica from the island with a one-way ticket to the pits of hell. Okay. So basically, Heather wants to be very clear with Monica that she could have had the best of Heather, but no longer, and don't even think about it. Probably not unless Monica gravels publicly with an apology at the very least. Now that's my opinion. All right. Like Tamara said, that's my opinion from the OC. Anyway, so this beautiful card of love and devotion showing up reverse was as poetic and intentional as Heather's latest Academy nominated speeches. Okay? Yes, it's a dramatic card. I mean, look at it. It is very dramatic. I mean, it even got dolphins in the background, okay? Swimming and stuff. I mean, he is uplifting her. The heavens is the sun and all that is just raining down on the spirit is just raining down on them. But it was in reverse because Heather is being dramatic. She's just being dramatic, and that suits her. She didn't have to. It, just to say, hey, we could have been friends, but we're not friends no more. You ain't got to do all of that, Heather. You ain't got, like, she's dramatic. This is a deck of 78 cards, and she picked the most dramatic one to say you could have had this, but you will not have it no more. So take your last look. She is probably like, oh my God, I cannot imagine her as a girlfriend breaking up with you. Like, I'm sure she's just so dramatic. Anyway, let's leave these dramatics and move on to some other dramatics, okay? All right, everyone. So, before we move on to other dramatics, let me ask you guys in a non-dramatic way to please click like and subscribe. I mean, you made it this far. Go ahead and show me that you support me, okay? Click like and subscribe, and I really appreciate it. That helps me get into the algorithm. And right here, coming up is, you'll never guess, Monica. Come on, let's get into Monica right after you click like and subscribe. All right, Monica. She is represented by the King of Swords. Okay. Now, the King of Swords throne sits in its element of air. And by the way, Monica is a Gemini with the element of air, so she is owning her element. Okay. Basically showing up in your own reading. His sword is prominently displayed, and he appears to be deep in thought. This king is strong and intriguing with an air of authority that makes him difficult to fathom, or in Monica's case, difficult to take seriously. Okay. Emotionally, he can appear misleading, but he takes his responsibilities seriously. The mind of this king is usually sharp and quick, which aids in his ability to excel in investigative work. In his presence, you may get the feeling that you are being evaluated. At times, he can be cold and lack sensitivity to others' feelings. But if you are on the good side of this king, then you will experience an excellent friend who gives good advice when asked. However, when the negative traits show up in the extreme, you may witness the king's ability to completely switch off his emotions and display cruel, bullying behavior. Wow. Okay. Because, I mean, overall, this is a king who, represents power, authority, leadership, all of that stuff, confidence, all of that. And it was upright. So Monica is standing in her energy even after the reunion. She's definitely embodying the I said what I said energy. Shouts out to Nene Lee, which is exactly a major quality needed in every housewife. I have said many times before that a good housewife will embody the I said what I said energy, but I do not condone bullying of any kind. So although you guys may have heard me say that here and there for years, especially as long as I've had this platform, by no means do I encourage someone to stand on business as they're bullying people. That's not it. That ain't it. Okay, that's not it. Let's continue. Andy Cohen, we're at his card. And okay, so we just had some dramatics from both Heather and Monica. We're not surprised. And you know what? I'm not really surprised at this one either. Nine of Cups. Okay, although, well, my surprise is that I thought he would kind of want to hide this a little bit. Andy is represented by the Nine of Cups, y'all. And it was in the upright. Okay, just look at it. Take it in. Okay, take it in. This card indicates someone who feels very well pleased, okay? The innkeeper, who can also be called landlord, host, or barkeeper, raises his cup in good cheer while standing over 8 cups upright, neatly stacked upon full barrels representing abundant. This card is the most promising in the deck and oftentimes is referred to as the wish card. It signifies the achievement of an important desire that brings you fulfillment. Which brings us to the 8 neatly stacked cups. These cups represent the 8 women. Yes, I said 8. Monica, Meredith, Whitney, Heather, Lisa, Angie, Mary, and Jen Shaw. Dun dun dun. Okay, I am gonna get a dun 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 button. I don't know when. Remember, cups represent our emotions. We are discussing the reunion, which, by design, will overflow with emotion. Andy is extremely happy with the unlimited possibilities in the future as it relates to Real Housewives of Salt Lake to the City. Just look at him in this image, laughing and kikiing. An old silver fox with a green shirt on to represent money. Let's break this down. I am not surprised that Andy is filled with cheer. I do think it's interesting and very telling that the innkeeper, quote unquote, can also be called landlord, referring to a house. Thus, we have housewives, or a host. Andy is the host of this reunion. And lastly, the person in this card can be referred to as what? A barkeeper, to which Bravo has current lawsuits claiming the encouragement of alcohol consumption amongst cast members across all the shows, which is a huge ethical problem. Allegedly, and more allegedly, okay? Everything is alleged. Anyway, but we know that we done all heard it. And so you want to show up, Mr. Andy, as a bartender, a barkeeper, not tender, keeper. You the keeper of the alcohol, and you put them cups right on some barrels of alcohol, and you all cheery. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it is ironic that Andy shows up in the reading as a barkeeper, like I just said. We see you, Andy Cohen, okay? And look at his face. Look at that goofy smile. What's so funny, Andy? What is so funny, Andy? Okay. You wasn't laughing and kikiing when Heather and Lisa was getting you what together? Let's continue. Speaking of the devil, I shouldn't call her no devil. Since Jen Shaw decided to, either it was a tweet or an Instagram or whatever, she decided to comment on this season, about this season, and I believe she said, keep my name up out your mouth. I decided, hey, let's see how she feels about the reunion. What was her feelings after the reunion? All right. She was represented by the 2 of Wands. Again, upright. Okay, upright. It ain't no confusing on this. She ain't, she was upright. So Jen Shaw is where? Jail. Okay. Jen Shaw's in jail, y'all. So this was a gag because this card showing up in the upright position is positive and specifically mean you are moving in the direction of your goals and ambition. But how so, boo? How so? When this lady is in what? Jail. All right, we must dive into the imagery. We see a young man facing 2 wands that are firmly placed in the ground, showing that his project has become more established. He looks between them, far beyond, into the horizon. Translation: the wands are the jail bars that are in front of Jen at night, and when she wakes up, she looks far beyond the bars. The vegetation is healthy, lush, and vibrant, which brings a sense of optimism. Translation: Jen is at a fancy jail, y'all. The 2 deer, gazing back at him with equal contemplation, mirror the 2 wands. Translation: that ain't nobody but Monica and Tanisha. They want to gain they want to gain from Jen, and Jen has figured out how to gain from them. So 2 symbolizes the possibility of outside influence that can lead to a form of partnership. The partnership and how it may lead to a form of partnership. They wouldn't be here and they wouldn't be a big deal and they wouldn't have anything to talk about if it wasn't for who? Jen Shaw. So that's how Monica and Tanisha used Jen Shaw. Jen Shaw in turn will use them because they are the ones who are keeping Jen Shaw relevant. Okay? Okay. These 2 ladies, by keeping Jen's name in their mouth, and especially Monica, that keeps Jen relevant. So that's how Jen is using them, and they all inadvertently formed a partnership. All of this led to them forming a partnership. Now, also, let's back back just a little bit when It says, when I say, not it, I said it, that Jen Shaw was in a fancy jail. Well, I went ahead and looked it up real quick because I just assumed she was in a fancy jail. All right. And now I didn't go too far down this rabbit's hole. I stopped right here, y'all. And this was on the Google on Daily Mail. I stopped right here. They said that she is up in there in jail. She wrote a play and she's casting for it, and it is called The Real Housewives of Bryan. And I think that Bryan is her is the jail that she's in somewhere in Texas, y'all. Okay, hilarious. So it's, I don't know exactly how fancy it is, but it's fancy enough for them to be doing plays. She's writing a play and she's casting for it, and it is supposed to be mocking the Real Housewives franchise, except for they said that, and this is told by Jen Shaw's representative. They said that she's using the characters that she's met in jail, and her representative says she in there and she's already made close bonds with some of the women. And let me say something real quick about that. Y'all need to be careful and y'all need to watch her now, because I had heard that people go to jail and all they do in there, I heard, was get better skills, learn better ways to like defraud and scam so that they don't get caught the second time. You know, her representative think it sounds cool that she's in there already forming close bonds. I would keep that on the hush. What? We'll end on this note. The imagery in this card shows a fork in the road. This is the utmost key to it all as it relates to Jen Shaw. This fork in the road is there because it is Jen's current reality, which depicts a decision she has to make in current time that is directly related to how her future will manifest once she is beyond the bars of jail. Because she is contemplating so hard, this tells me she has numerous roads to choose from. The majority probably aren't worth traveling. But after this reunion for season 4, she has become more profitable. She knows it and plans to milk it until the titty shrivels up and falls completely off. Let's continue. Now, the reason why you are seeing a considerable amount more of time left is because this energy card was so strong that, I went ahead, when I picked it up, I saw the other one underneath it, and I said, oh, that's telling something else. And then I saw the other one and the other one and the other one. And so really it's up to the tarot reader of how far back with the energy influence that they want to go, because the energy influence is actually telling a story. So check this out. We're gonna walk through this. It's based off of all of them, and as I begin to break it down, you'll see one person more than the other. It is represented by the Emperor. Okay, look at him. Look at him, represented by the Emperor. The imagery represents masculine energy and further suggests a powerful male influence. The clasp on his cloak is the sun, which suggests his ego is shoved in your face. Okay, he wears rich and opulent gowns. His crown represents triumph. Coupled with all of his adornments, they show his highly important position and marital status. His scepter topped with the solar system, okay, look at it, with one finger pointed to the heaven while the other points to the earth. This tells us specifically that he must rule his subjects with nothing less than rational thought, stability, logic, and reason to maintain his powerful dynamic of control over the situation. Okay, so as I was reading, hopefully the name that popped in your head who this relates to the most is Andy. Okay, y'all can't tell me that ain't Andy. First we saw Andy being a drunk barkeeper, and now we see him, his energy behind all that. And it makes sense because it says that he knows that in order to rule his subjects, which is the women for this reunion, of course, that he can be nothing less than rational and have the stability, logic, and reason. You know what I'm saying? So, of course. And with that being said, we know that that's how he was going in it. That's what he tried to maintain. And he really had to pull on all of that in order to entertain the words and the actions coming from Monica. All right. Now, it's in reverse because he doesn't have 100% control. Sometimes a reverse card holds the same meaning as the upright, but with less strength or less effectiveness than the upright version. With all of that being said, it feels like the energy of this card represents Andy for sure, you know. But remember that every being holds both masculine and feminine energy. But the description sounds exactly like how the Bravo celebrities view Andy, even if that is not the way he views himself 100%. All right. But I bet that he does. Okay. Drop down in the comments and let me know if you think that Andy does view himself as this big, powerful, almighty emperor ruling over all of them. I do. I really do. And I believe that scepter with it looks like the universe on there or whatever at the end, that is the universe of the it's the solar system, but it's like it represents all of the housewives. He's the one holding it. You know what I'm saying? And then the sun, there goes that sun again, right there on his cloak. So all of this to me represents Andy, and you know, his energy. It's mostly, I'm feeling, is mostly his energy, and then it's also how the ladies view him. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what made me go, ooh. All right, all right, all right. So, like I said, I couldn't stop peeking. So here we are. Right underneath that emperor was Three of Wands energy. Okay? And the Three of Wands energy indicates progress, initial success, and yet even more planning to keep everything forward moving and heading in the right direction. Look, we can't deny that this card has some resemblance of the Two of Wands that represents Jen Shaw. Okay, it was the Two of Wands, you guys. This energy influence makes us admit that Jen Shaw is, in fact, on the brain, albeit in the past and behind us, but never too far out of the frame. So, to her delight, I'm sure, and that's what she tweeted, I'm in jail and I'm still the driving force behind the show. Now, back to the car. The ship in the distance represents a pattern of progression. When coupled with the vibrant blue water, it says there's still work to do in order to move positively ahead in the direction of your goal. Overall, this card is saying that the ship you're watching sail away from you is a positive thing as you leave the Two of Wands in the past and emerge as a more confident version of yourself. Okay, so does this mean that the cast wants to leave Jen behind? Well, I don't think so. In my humble opinion, I believe the majority wants Monica to sail away and be gone with the wind, but they're willing to accept Jen back into the fold, which is why she is showing up in their energy influence. She is behind them, okay, when you look at it, but still very much present. Okay, and directly underneath that card is the Chariot. Okay, now breaking down the imagery, we see a woman riding in a chariot with two sphinxes of opposite color, symbolizing opposing force. Here is the sun emblem showing up in this reading yet again. So this makes 3 times, representing how the world views us. And it makes sense that the sun emblem that represents how the world views us and has an attachment to our ego, it makes sense that it would show up time and time again in this reading, because this is about their feelings after the reunion. And the reunion is where the world is staring at this one stage with all of you on it. Okay, and it's time to be drilled and face the facts and defend yourself. Okay, so it makes sense that this sun keeps coming out, and now it's showing up in their energy. The woman is adorned in luxurious garments representing success that ushers in a positive outcome, except for one huge problem. Okay, the chariot is without movement. The chariot in its current state is going nowhere. If you look closely, you'll notice there are no reins to steer this vehicle. The woman appears preoccupied, glancing to the side instead of focusing upon the road ahead. Okay, this card tells us even more than the last card, because this card is saying there is an inner conflict that needs to be controlled in order to achieve the goal that has been set. Now, real quick, take a look at the card and let me break this down real quick. In tarot, left is past, forward is present, and right is future. If the subject in the card is left facing, they are thinking about the past. Forward facing image holds steady in the present, and right facing individuals focus on their future endeavors. Okay, so back to the imagery. The woman is focused so much on the past that she cannot move forward. Okay, and this is after we've seen the energy come out really big, booming, and promising as the Emperor, then fade just a tad bit as the Three of Wands, but we had hope because he was confident and standing on business. Okay, surprisingly followed by our Chariot that seems to have ran out of gas, leaving us sitting here stuck in our own head. But why? Okay, why? The next card tells us a bit about why. All right, so the card underneath the Chariot representing their energy for this reunion, it collectively, okay, and I meant to say that earlier too. This energy is collectively. What I was reading off with the tarot in the first half was their feelings individually right after the reunion, okay, right when they were done. And Andy said it's a wrap. Nine of Swords, okay? Look at this card. Now, because the producers probably did know that Monica was Troll Von T and they cast her anyway, we get this, okay? Look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. All right. Shouts out to Kevin Hart. Somebody come and look at this. Nine of Swords. Their energy cards has the big worry card in it. None other than the one and only Nine of Swords, which represents staying up all night, worrying about the conflict within. Again, there is nine. As I said before, when Andy celebrated the Nine of Cups, it represents him and the 6 cast members and the one friend of the show plus one jailbird. All right. The woman appears to be trying to comfort herself, but she cannot due to her troubled thoughts, as depicted by the crossed and suspended swords right in front of her. The feelings presented are suffering, disappointment, despair, culminating a definite sense of anxiety being experienced. Okay. Now I could see by the way Heather performed on Watch What Happens Live with rehearsed answers that she had been up all night. Clearly. Plus Andy nodding and accepting Heather's non-answer answers was evidence that he had been up all night trying to think of ways to justify Monica's return. Okay, even if as a friend or something, okay, because I get the sense from Andy that he still wanted to play with Monica, okay, because he's not getting that, what he's getting from Monica he's not getting from any of the other ladies. The good, the bad, or the ugly, however you feel about it, none of the ladies are of Salt Lake City are giving Andy anything to play with, okay. Even Jen Shaw gave him something to play with. All right. So the message for this card is it is our fear that blinds us, making what might happen appear worse than the situation really is. And basically, several of them were up all night worrying. This is, like I said, collective energy. Now, it makes me wonder, how bad would it really be? Some people are perfectly fine without ever seeing Monica again, while a large group believes it would be Andy and Bravo's biggest mistake of all time to not at least give her one more season to ride this out and close it out. Now, I want to know, where do you fall on the spectrum? I'd like to see her back just to ride this journey on out and, button it up with some kind of conclusion. Why not go ahead and dive a little deeper into the scenes of the troll account and put some meat on the bone, because that book was a bust. Yeah, because I'd never heard of the troll account, as many of us hadn't ever heard of it. A few have, but we never heard of it. And I heard that now when you go there, it's all cleaned up and stuff. So we still don't really have any meat on the bone of what the hell it really was and why were they tripping out. So at least give us that as the audience member. You've it's almost like suspense, mystery, horror film that cuts off 2/3 of the way through. So we don't know who survived. We don't know if the killer survived. We don't know. They telling us it ain't gonna be no part two, and they cut it off early. What the hell? All right, one more. All right. So lastly, we find ourselves looking at the collective energy being represented. Okay, drum roll, please, by the Judgment card. Okay, I will pause for the gasp. The Judgment card, all right? And this is represented with struggling with self reflection, resisting change, and avoiding important decisions. Judgment in reverse indicates a phase where the necessary process of evaluation and transformation is being ignored or postponed. Now, let's break this on down. Struggling with self reflection. This energy intends to criticize you and everything else as it relates to the show. They do not intend to judge fairly. They place blame on everything other than themselves. Okay, we saw that. We did see that in this reunion. They all were ready to come at Monica, and when they were asked questions about themselves, they kept it very minimal. They, pew, 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 like threw it away, like used semantics. We all know that Meredith did. I'm just giving that as an example. The only person who really went ahead and took a shot at themselves was Mary, a friend of the show, and that was when she said, and this is something I got to clear up real quick, because Mary said a rude comment about Heather, saying that she doesn't believe that Gucci corset was real because Gucci doesn't make that size. I don't know why everybody is missing this. Heather said, not in this reunion, but I believe she was on Watch What Happens Live, or she was being interviewed by somebody, but I saw it, I watched it, I heard it come out of her mouth, and what she said was that although, that wasn't a nice thing to say, Mary was right, half right, in the fact that Gucci does not make that size. She said that, and she named the person, whoever the person was, took two Gucci corsets and sewed them together, creating that for her. So she said that it was, in fact, real Gucci, but Gucci doesn't make that size. Boom. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. We're done. We're done with that. I'm tired of hearing about Gucci making big sizes, man. Or not making big sizes. Whatever. Okay. Goodness. But anyway, I don't know why that just irritated me. You know what irritates me? It didn't irritate me about Gucci and what size they make. It didn't irritate me about that. It irritates me when someone has already responded, but the viewers, the public, the audience has selective memory or selective outrage. And so everybody wants to pretend like she didn't say that. She said that. Mary was right. Gucci doesn't make that size. Okay. Mary shouldn't have said it, but I don't feel like Mary is not. Anyway, this ain't about that. Let's get back. What I was saying about Mary was she's the only one that actually kind of took some accountability for it, and she said, look, she said, I'm the one that's embarrassed or looks bad today because she looks great. She looks absolutely great and fabulous. So everyone else, they criticized other people. They didn't take blame for anything. They put everything off on everybody else and was just sitting on ready to attack Monica. And Monica was sitting on ready to defend herself. She didn't take responsibility for anything that she did either. All right. So struggling with self-reflection. Yes, that ran wild throughout that reunion. And then the next is the transformation being ignored. All right. So this brings us to Whitney's death card. It was all about transformation and embracing change. It also was in reverse due to other castmates' refusal to be open to a new formula for the show. Now, all of this is true as it relates to whether or not Monica will be invited back. While in the moment prior to the announcement that she wouldn't be coming back. So what I'm saying is these are the energies and the feelings and thoughts of these women before they knew for sure that she was not going to be invited back. And personally, I feel like we still don't know for sure. Okay. But they just were not open to trying new things. Like Whitney's card, and I'm not gonna, repeat it because I've already spoken about it, but Whitney's card was the death card, and it was all about transformation and death of something, rebirth of another, so that you can transform and be open to change, and be accepting. And Whitney's just shut down. That card was in reverse because the women they're not trying to hear it. They want to stick to the same formula for the show. Although that's interesting because I heard through the grapevine that allegedly, all of this is allegedly, Salt Lake City is going to get 3 new castmates this upcoming season. So, you know what? By all means, go ahead. I think now I'm not good at football, but I think this is called a Hail Mary. They need something. Okay, they need something. Now, I have a little bit more for you. This card is about judgment, and it's in reverse, which signifies how much they fear being judged. It came as a surprise to learn that the biggest fear was being judged by none other than their peers. Okay, their peers. I get being judged and everything. And when I first saw the card, when Spirit told me their peers, I was surprised because I just expected them to not want to be judged by us, the viewers. But then it made sense because they're judged by the viewers all the time. So at a certain point, you gotta have tough skin. But I guess it means more and hurts a little bit more when they're judged by their own peers, fellow housewives or fellow reality TV stars or fellow Bravo celebrity. That hurts them more than us. Okay, I thought that was interesting. So here is where Heather shines as she gives Andy and the producers a speech about how they would have a higher caliber of women willing to join the cast if Bravo would stop entertaining the bullying and not allow the likes of Monica to join the cast. Now, I'm paraphrasing Heather, but you get the gist of it. Lisa concurs as she vocalizes her opinion, backing Heather up 100, 1,000, okay, 1,000,000%. I do agree somewhat because I know that a show with nothing but upstanding citizens helping old ladies cross the street would be boring AF, okay, as fuck. So, to Heather, I say, we need to find a happy medium. Meet us halfway, snowflake. Okay, all the snow can't just show up all white and fresh and crisp. It need to be some dirty snow in there somewhere. Okay, where some tracks was on it or somebody peed on it. Shit, some pee snow. I don't know. Sorry y'all, I didn't mean to go that way. But what I'm saying is everything can't be all, coming up roses and daisies and stuff or whatever, sunshine, and it has to be something, a little bit of chaos, some kind of chaos. All right, you guys. So I like to end with the quote, and this quote is I'm kidding. Okay, this quote is: people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. People can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. This popped in my head when I thought of Monica and how her burn book was a disappointment. Her whole performance in the reunion was a disappointment. She has a long way to go, and perhaps she can take this time off, this pause or whatever. I've heard that she was fired, and I heard it was a pause. Whatever it is, girl, breathe and go to therapy and develop yourself. Keep in touch with Whitney. Keep in touch with Whitney because she might come back as a friend of Whitney's. Okay, that's something that I'm feeling. She might come back as Whitney's friend. Whitney can help her therapy and the just all of that. Everything that Whitney's doing is good and it's on track. And I think Whitney's doing a good job there. And I just have to say, it's a sad day in the world when the deepest person in the room is Whitney Rose. Okay. With all of that being said, you guys, I want to thank you for your support. Okay, thank you so much for clicking on this video, listening to this video, And I'm going to ask you to click like. And if you have not subscribed already, I don't know why. Go ahead and subscribe. It's free. And stay tuned. Stay tuned. I am thinking about, I mean, it's already done. I just have to like edit and everything. But I'm thinking about doing the why is Anne Marie here? Okay. I wasn't going to do it at first because I didn't like Anne Marie, but I realized that it really doesn't matter so much if I don't like a person, because like I'm just really wondering now, why is she here? And Andy Cohen recently, I don't know if it was on his podcast, I think it was on his podcast, said for all of you who don't like or don't see it for Anne Marie, stay tuned because she's gonna surprise you. um what the hell you talking about, Andy? I don't see it, and I don't see no surprise for I don't see it for her. No, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't. Okay, put black sunglasses on me and sit me in front of the piano because I don't see it. But of course, I am going to stay tuned, and let me tell y'all something. I didn't like the way Anne Marie treated Crystal when Crystal was having her episode, because I'm not a doctor. I don't know what that is. But to me, Anne Marie was petty as she came over and said, "Oh, what's wrong? You need to sit down. You're hot." Or whatever she said. And then, Crystal was like, "Look at my veins." And she's like, "Yep, look at them veins. They veins. That's what the veins are. Go ahead and lay down in the van. Don't pass out. All right, goodbye." Like, even if you, first of all, wasn't she supposed to take an oath, a Hippocratic oath or something like that? I know doctors do, and I'm assuming nurses take some kind of oath as well. And the point is, if that's who you are and you're in the profession of caring for people, even if that person did say some things to you or about you that you don't like, you are still supposed to give them the utmost care health wise that you can. And I believe her feelings was too, she was too emotional to do that. I would never want her working on me. I wouldn't. I mean, I don't. Anyway, you guys have a great week. All right. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. That's coming up. Bye.